Robots versus gremlins. Get it? You get it? Oh, I broke the thing. So, hello, and welcome to Z Reviews. I'm your host, Zeos Pantera. Waifu wallpaper available in the Wallpaper Horde. You get every waifu wallpaper ever. And we're going to discuss, I have collabs, which sponsor the channel. But we have two competing things that are actually roughly the same price and do roughly the same thing, where they are both tube-driven, and this is a combo DAC amp, and this is a DAC amp combo, which you can order both, and you stick them together and you listen to music. So, robots or gremlins? Because I've done the Gremlin already. If you don't know, this is the APOS Gremlin, and this has been standalone for a couple months now, and everybody loves it. It's got 5-star reviews, 75-star reviews. I didn't read a single one of them. And it had its flaws, but its overarching sound was just like, ugh. So people gave up on it, or gave up on the flaws, or didn't give a shit about the flaws. So what was missing was a DAC. So now, if we remove, I'll take it off the hat. Ugh. All right, it's coming off with the thing. So now we have this, which is the Merlin. Now, you're like, oh, Zeos, did they just rip off Gishelli Labs? No, they partnered with Gishelli Labs. This is a Gishelli Labs DAC, and it's actually one of their cheapest offerings now, because if we go to APOS, the robot is $279, by the way. We're going to get to the robot, or the DM-01, and Mr. Arigato Domo Arigato. It probably won't play, but leave robot alone for $279. Then you have the Gremlin tube amp here, which starts as low as $120, but if you add everything, including the DAC, the stacker, the flow cables, and the better tubes, this is $572 or $562, but as low as $120 for just that. And then I think you go with the higher end tubes and it becomes $300, and then flow cables, and then more flow cables, and just keeps going up and up and up. But ignore that. The stacker, which is this, which is not 3D printed, this is an actual injection molded thing, is $15. And then the Merlin, APOS X Gishelli Merlin AKM desktop DAC. If you get the Merlin only, $195, under $200 for a Gishelli Labs DAC. If you get it with flow cables, it's $250. If you get it with a stacker, it's $210. So you don't save any money if you buy it with a stacker. It's still $15. Get the stacker. And then there's all sorts of things you could add until it's $562, which is the exact same price for the both. I'm not wrong, am I? I was $562? Yeah, you can get it either way at $562 for the whole deal. So now we're going to have to discuss that on its own, because when somebody makes, and not necessarily that this was created to actually, I mean, they're obviously partnered to be together, duh, but I had to assess DAC on DAC's terms, and so we'll look at DAC. And it's very exposed, and if you got kids or you just tend to splash food out of your mouth, you might want to avoid this DAC, because you can put your fingers inside of it, just like your mom. I didn't do that joke. They had a couple improvements as they were going along. I know for this unit and for this unit, they have that 3D printed piece that supports the XLRs. You get a power input, you get your XLR outputs, you get an RCA output, you get your coaxial digital input, and you get USB input. Only those two. Only coaxial digital and USB. There is no fiber optic on this, which doesn't affect me because I have everything I can need on this desk. The front contains two just raw exposed switches. One that is power. It's a stiff switch. Or a light DAC, take your pick. And one that does USB or SPDIF, which SPDIF being coaxial digital. So, I mean, you can't ask for a more basic, simple DAC than that. And here's the thing, I had to test it before going to the Merlin. I had to test the Merlin before going to the Gremlin. It's Merlins and Gremlins and robots, oh my. So I had this feeding into several things on my desk, including the topping LA90, and I was going back and forth, and I'm like, oh, this sounds pretty nice. Now, when a DAC sounds different, Zeos gets, what's the thing that it's like I get beaten up by the tooth fairy, Because Zeos for years is like DACs don't sound any different. And Zeos was probably right. That Zeos was 100% probably right. Let's mute that for a second. The thing is that now people have understood that the DACs didn't sound any different, and so they're trying real fucking hard to make them sound different, whether it's softer and warmer, or adding a little bit of width, or putting some decay on things. It's okay if a DAC measures slightly, but at least it has a place in the market where you can say, like, well, this DAC and this DAC and this DAC all sound different, and we could argue that fact again. Great, more work for Zeos. So on its own, for under $200 fucking dollars, I would consider buying this DAC and just hook it up to anything. If you want to add like a little bit of warmth, it's this nice little stepped back, beautiful, simple DAC. It has one thing missing, considering it is supposed to be a collaboration with this, and we'll get to it. But yeah, so the Merlin is getting a big thumbs up, under $200. I believe is it still made in America, or are they just selling out the parts? Because I'm not sure if Deshelly Labs could actually push the numbers required. They may have designed this, but they texted. Yeah. Don't quote me on where it's coming from, because I don't know. Anything on the bottom? Yeah, it also doesn't have the standard Deshelly Labs. Like, if they're doing a part picker and doing hand soldering and all that stuff, there's no way. There's no way. APOS must have been like, hey, we'll get you to design it and we'll manufacture it, which is another reason why it costs so goddamn little. So we'll wait till tariffs come in and we'll see how much it costs. Because $195, hopefully, will stick around. So now, you get this. You already own. I'm assuming there's enough people out there that if you raise your hand in the comments, if you already own the Gremlin and you love it. If you do, congratulations. Now, here's your little stacker ring, which it just fits perfectly around the Lexan on top. And one of the nice things about it is when you do that, the green LEDs on your Gremlin can glow in it, as seen in this photo here. Ooh, look at that. Now, the problem is my Gremlin's been abused and was still an earlier model, so when I plug it in, it may... Oh, there's some green. It's very dull. If I shut it off, turn it back on. Nope, still very dull green. So my LED driver's kind of failing. If anyone else has a failing LED driver in their Gremlin, let me know. So I had it on it. Eventually, it'll just go to nothingness. I was hoping it would like burst into flames and be like, yeah, green. Because it will look that bright if it's working. I've gotten it to work, just not consistently. That's just my problem, though, not your problem. The only thing I wish it had was I wish there was a way to like clip it together, because both of these units are relatively light, and that doesn't exactly it's fine. It's fine if you're careful. Just be careful. Another thing you could do if you're really feeling like you really want to get out there and do something is you could replace the entire rod assembly here. So it's got a nut, it's got this rod, and it's got another thing down to there. You could just have a straight one go up and just have these things become one actual unit. You have to disassemble everything and reassemble everything with your own parts, though. So it might be better to just spend $15 on this. So let's put this in its corner. Obviously, I'm giving it a listen with Eris, which is the headphone collaboration, bassiest headphone on earth, but that's not what it's about. It's about the soundstage, and it's about being able to listen for 25 hours in a row because the goddamn thing is soft. I'm using part of my DD Hi-Fi collaboration, if you don't know. If you want to get this case with that adapter, and these two adapters, and this adapter, which is every adapter you should need at an audio convention, that's $180 and available on AliExpress only. Otherwise, they couldn't give me the percentage I asked for when I said, can we make a collab? And they're like, yeah, if we put it on AliExpress. So go check it out. So this is the DD Hi-Fi one. It's super fucking nice. Boom. So you want to just finish? You know what? You guys are interested in this. I know you are. And you want to know why we're hearing the music. And we'll get to that. But the one thing that's missing, and we have a lot of wires that are doing a lot, by the way, all new desk mats on Reddit, if I can remember to put them there. The one thing that's missing with this setup, because if we look at the back of it, it's not complicated. The Gremlin's been out for a long time. We all know what the back of the Gremlin looks like, and here's the back of the Merlin. I brought out this cable. This is a DD Hi-Fi cable, just like the collab that I have with the DD Hi-Fi. Some of the nicest fucking built anything ever, regardless of price, is DD Hi-Fi shit. And the back of the Gremlin has this input, which is a 4.4 input. And the back of the Merlin doesn't have a 4.4 output. Think of the... Coom! It would have been so nice. Oh, God. It would have been so nice. And I don't blame Shelly Labs for this. I blame APOS for this. And not being like, hey, we're going to make this so it's a perfect pairing. But, so now I've got these giant fucking XLR cables, which are unnecessary. If this just had a 4.4 out, it would have been like a little whoop. They could have even come with the fucking APOS branded boop. And it would have just made it, it's so big now. It's just this. These are some of the shorter ones I have, and they're not even that stiff, and they still stick out 1.5 feet, and now I got to deal with this entire goddamn thing. Like I don't want, it could have been so nice. Oh, God. I have like 5 of these jumpers, and I never get to use them. Because why would I? But this was a fucking perfect opportunity to have a... Missed opportunities. I want you all to be as angry as me. And this way, the next time when they're doing community feedback or something, you're all like, hey, wait. Put a 4.4 output. Because then the 4.4 outputting DAC could have gone to the 4.4 inputting amp, and it would have been so clean. Oh, the cleanliness. Fucking, come. So, overall, this at $562 for the whole kit and caboodle with upgraded tubes absolutely sounds phenomenal. If you don't want to do the upgraded tubes, that's fine. Tubes are not supposed to be better. They're all just different. If you want a tube to do something different than it's doing, buy another tube. Even a cheaper, shittier tube, it'll do something different. And this, being its hybrid self, absolutely twists and softens the sound in a way that just makes me happy. It's a happy setup. I don't think anyone who owns the Gremlin doesn't look at it and smile. But wait, what if someone actually tried to have a lot of fun? See, this is a little bit of fun. Hey, why don't we make a tube amp, make it kind of affordable, and we can call it the Gremlin. That's kind of fun. It's like a Gremlin. Motherfucker, they made a robot. Xduoo. I'll bring this bitch up again. Xduoo, someone smoked all the hashish in the building. Maybe on the block. And was like, bruh. Robot. Amplifier. Now, we've had that skull one from... I can't remember the name of the brand. I know the guy. He's super cool. I met the real guy in Germany. The name of the one with the bodies and the nipples or the knobs, and you know who I'm talking about. That's a company that has like an $8,000 skull headphone amplifier with VU meters in the eyes. And that's fun. If you're going to charge $8,000 for a fucking headphone amplifier, make it fun. This being under $300, being as well built as it is, like if this was an inert thing that didn't do anything, it would still be nice to own. Like the bolt, the way, the switches, and oh my God. And there's your off switch, and it goes down, and it covers the 1/4 inch. So, it's got big feet with rubber pads. My biggest problem with the robot, we got to talk about the robot. First of all, I'm surprised at how good it sounds. Xduoo are known. Here's a TA30. There's a drop Xduoo TA84. I got TA10. They're known for their hybrid tube amps. They just decided to have fucking fun. Fun! Remember this hobby was fun? I think you remember when it was fun. You know, let's have some more coffee. Not a lot left down there and all the chocolates at the bottom. Yes, I add Nesquik to my coffee because why wouldn't I? I like the milk. It's fun. That doesn't screw on, but I tried anyway. So you get this heavy metal robot with a tube sticking out of his head, which you can upgrade, by the way. And his ears are the volume control, and his arms are the power and source selector. And his face lights up, and he blinks, and he changes color. Hold on. It goes red, yellow, and if you go down... All right. There's a problem we got to talk... There's several problems we got to talk about. I don't want you to not buy this because of these problems. These problems are just silly problems. There's nothing that's like a fatal flaw. It's like the end of the earth. You don't want to have anything to do with this. But there's problems. And it's my job to inform you of these. Can we get there, for fuck's sake? That's problem number 1, is the volume control. So let's say you plug a headphone in. And in this case, it is only a 1/4 inch. And if I want to use Eris, I will need some sort of adapter. Now, I've got this one, which I think came with Moondrop stuff. But if you own that adapter set that I am collabing, you get this wonderful DD Hi-Fi 1/4 inch to 3.5 and this 3.5 to 4.4, and we go, boom. The first problem I have before the volume is why can't I plug this into his dick hole? Or, if it's a lady robot, vagina hole. It was begging to happen. Someone looked at it. Someone went, let's make a robot, and they didn't go full fuck. This thing could have had a downward firing angular plug right, or the back. I mean, technically the USB's coming out of his ass, but that's the problem. All right, more problems. I don't prefer to have the output for the headphone on the side. I would prefer it somewhere in the front. It'd be hilarious. That's just me. The second problem, we were talking about volume. These buttons adjust the volume. You literally compress them and it'll go, when it's all the way down to 0, it's this, and it's pause. If I unpause the music, it's fine. Nothing is coming out of the headphones. Now it's red. Because it changes and then switches to red. The problem is 70. 70 blinks of volume control. 70. So if we hold this down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Are you counting along? And we've hit the maximum. Thank God this is a quiet song, because this is it's a 1.5 watt fucking unit, and these are super efficient. But did you see how long it took? Oh my God. Oh my God. Like if it was 25 blinks, it would still be a lot of blinks to like hold it and wait for 25. It's 70. 70. And you know how I know that? Because I counted twice. I went all the way up and I went all the way down. And yep, it's 70. I thought it was going to be 69, which would have been funnier. But and then you go, it's red. And then as you go down, then it's yellow. And then as you go down even more, it's green. And you need to be somewhere in the high yellows for just, it ramps up higher and higher. That is a super fine adjustment of volume. The other problem is it's only USB input. And that kind of sucks. It does have an auxiliary output though, so you have a 3.5. So if I wanted to do what I was doing before, you technically could. I wonder if it's full tits. I could adapt this to make it work. Hold on a second. So the problems, which you're all going to overlook because this thing's fucking awesome. 1/4 inch only out, fine, get an adapter. It doesn't need to be balanced, a single tube. It would look weird with 2 tubes on his head. It's fine. Maybe next year we get a bigger robot with 2 tubes. So you get your single-ended output. I think it's in the wrong spot, but that's just me. The volume is great. It blinks. Also, we're blue now. We're light blue. What was I going to say? It needs to be powered with 12-volt DC, which comes off of this power brick, which is here, which is very annoying and heavy and trying to yank it off the desk, which means you can't just have USB. If you could just have USB and he had one wire coming out of his ass, it would be better than the 2 wires. Because you don't need the USB, because he has Bluetooth. In fact, this switch here goes USB or Bluetooth or nothing. I don't actually know what it does when you go, because that's USB, blue for Bluetooth, and then it like dims, but it might still be Bluetooth because you're just storing it. And then the on-off switch is literally the arm, and then it goes down and it covers that, which is kind of cool. This whole thing is about being fucking cool. You are not a boring, stuffy audiophile. Your girlfriend wants something, you're sick and tired of her watching play music on her fucking shitty thing, or you're a girl watching this channel, which is very rare, but not impossible, and you want your guy friend to not be a fucking jackass with his goddamn Creative Labs audio setup, Turtle Beach. You know what? Buy them one of these. It looks like a joke. It is not a joke when it comes to sound quality. And no one's going to complain that you bought them a fucking metal robot that plays music. Nobody. It does need VU meters, and it needs indicators where the volume is, because it doesn't have that. It's another one of those. This is a very ranty video, and you'd think that, Zeus must hate it. No, I love it. It's fucking amazing. It's a robot. It's a goddamn fucking robot. All right? And you got to plug it in his ass, the DC, the USB, and the aux out. So let's see. If I want to do aux out, let me make sure this thing is still working. Hold on. Okay, it's not, but it should be working now. There we go. Yes? No? Come on. Oh, maybe I should plug the USB back in. That would probably help. Another... Even if, you know what? I would almost prefer if the headphone jack was also in the back, so they had nothing sticking out the sides, and he would just exist in this own little bubble. I've actually come up with multiple ways you could use this without having it just be a desktop unit. For example, I use this adapter. In fact, I use multiple adapters. I've got this wire that adapts 4-pin XLR for like plugging into a DAC, into 2 XLRs, which is how I was feeding Valencia off of that Tor Audio thing. So that's 2 XLRs to the speakers, which are self-powered, into this, and then converting into this. And if I plug this into, oh god, we're gonna get a pop sound. I can hit my 70 fucking volume buttons, and we're listening to Young Girl's Heart out of those speakers, and I don't want to get copyright infringement, so we're gonna pause that. However, I could also, can I convert this easier using all the stuff from my there? So that, and then okay, then I gotta go here, and then I can go into the back. Look how convenient all these connectors are. Such a Zeos thing. Please don't make a shouting out sound. Slight thing. So I'm going to hit play. I'm not sure if that aux out is also preamp control, so it might get very loud for a second. Nope, it's also preamp out. But I am at the top. How did I get to the tippity top? Does it know? Gotta change songs. So, technically, what I think the most popular use case for this will be Bluetooth receiver. So you're going to leave it in Bluetooth, which would be the one arm. It'll be unfortunately one arm down and one arm up. They can't be the same because that's on and USB. So you can't have them both down. It has to be on and then it has to be down for Bluetooth. I think you're going to buy this and you're going to use it as a Bluetooth receiver with a tube preamp out to speakers. I think that's the use case. Because, come on, how fucking cool would it be you walk into your kitchen and you've got some like audio engine speakers or something, set up some self-powered monitors that you just had lying around, and you need a Bluetooth receiver. How cool would it be if it's a fucking robot with a tube pre just sitting there? Because then you don't have to worry about the volume, because you're going to set the volume. You're never going to turn this off because preamp tubes and hybrids last forever. You don't have to worry about cycling this thing. So it would just sit in your kitchen, and whenever you're near your kitchen, it would connect to Bluetooth, and you'd use your phone's volume control, and you'd have it output via 3.5, or you could use the crazy adapters out the side. No. And then you're like, I'm controlling my volume through my robot. My robot outputs my sound. Because, honestly, it sounds good enough as a tube preamp, as a tube hybrid, to qualify. As like, ooh, that's something special. Let's unplug that again. Let's plug this back into this, so I can go here, so I can go here, so I can go here, and then I could, am I going to explode? Hold on. Oh, yeah. Oh, we are going to explode. I mean, I don't worry about Eris. Eris is an indestructible headphone, but we got to go down some of those 70 fucking notches. All right, listening tests. Because I'm not going to shoot off between the two. Like, I don't think you're really sitting there and you're like, no, I got to decide if I want to get gremlins in the house or robots in the house. Ask your wife. Ask your husband. Do you want robots or gremlins? Most people would say robots because they can usually be helpful. But murdered by a robot or murdered by a gremlin, you're still murdered. Just remember that. I have such a mess on this desk now. So many adapters. So many adapters doing adapting things. Also, you could just have this now, and I could preamp those speakers with anything. Just no one. In fact, you know what? Here's one of the things that's missing from the Gremlin. is an output. It's got 4.4 input, it's got XLR inputs, and it only has that and a 4.4 output. So technically, what I'm about to do, I consider it legal. I'm sure Golden Sound would probably say, well, the voltage could be much higher than... If you're careful, if you're careful, you can use a headphone output that is balanced into adapters to feed into other things with amplifiers, so that now this is being Gremlin preamped. I will link to this wonderful cable in the description. It's a cheap bastard, but it's like, I have like 4 of them. Because this is something you don't think about doing. It's like, well, I want to hear, I love my Gremlin, but I wish it was a preamp. It is. It technically is. As long as you don't over voltage, because it doesn't matter how many millions of amps are coming out of this. The voltage is what the speaker's going to see. And in this, it's like 4.5 volts would be like maximum voltage. And I have that speaker set. So if I ever get louder than I expected to, then I'm pushing too much voltage, then I'm a bad guy, then I could damage something. But if you're just doing...
Well, I tell you what.
Oh, it's Satan in the South Park.
A little Christmas right here. Come on.
I can't. I don't want to get copyright infringement. Shh. So tell me if anybody in the comments is going to use their Gremlin as a 2 preamp like I'm using the robot. I'm just going to call it the robot because what's it? The DM-01? Domo? The Domo. DM-01. Domo. In my head, I can make it say Domo. Arigato. Okay? So if anyone asks, it's the Domo. And you can read all the things, at a glance, status updates. Indicate you can instantly check your playback connection status, color code, provides real-time sampling rates, Bluetooth codecs. I don't care about that. I care about the volume. What's the volume? Why am I the only person that seems to care about what the volume is set at? He could have the coolest fucking VU meters dancing on his chest. Fucking coolest dancing on his chest. That's $50, the Fosse AH01A. Just that, like, on his nipples. I'm assuming it's a guy. Again, we're not going to gender assign this robot because it doesn't have the right holes to even decide anything. But so if I'm listening to this guy, you're here. That is still incredibly loud. Jesus balls. It's such a smooth decrease in volume. I don't even hear the steps, and it's definitely digital. Paul drinks from Dune Part 2. If you're getting married and your name is Paul, I recommend picking the Hans Zimmer track Paul Drinks as a wedding song, because this will absolutely fly at a fucking modern wedding. So I wish this had a fiber optic 3.5 or some other input. So you line his whole spine with inputs, but then he'd be $500 instead of $279. And I would love to use this in my day-to-day. This, with the Merlin DAC, is complete. That's the best thing I could say about it. Once you start adding secondary components that are like designed for it, I get worried that you're gonna have, like, it's not worth to buy one piece and the other. Just swap it out. If you could do this stack and you do it right, despite the failings of it not using a 4.4 fucking jumper. Besides that, although Jashali Labs is kind of allergic to 4.4s, they've only recently got it. Besides that, this is a hell of a fucking setup. This could easily compete with any $500 combo DAC amp tube pre thing. It lacks some features, but like I just showed you, it doesn't lack. This is Dragon Ball Z Groovy Discotheque. I knew it was. It doesn't lack a preamp. It's just a very sketchy preamp. You just use the headphone out and buy a fucking thing. That works with every headphone out. I was doing the headphone out on this to control the speakers before. Anything. I can plug anything into as a head. As long as you don't over voltage it, and that's on you. That is something you have to understand and be aware of.
I'm sorry, John. What are you doing? Everybody ready? Oh,
Fuck Society. I love that track. God, I want to rewatch Mr. Robot. Has it been long enough? I don't think it's been long enough. You got to go at least 10 years before you rewatch a show after it ends. So this was basically a re-review of the Gremlin, but an introduction to the Merlin, which at $295 is absolutely fucking worth it. It's still kind of an enthusiast, hobbyist DAC, because it's literally an open fucking box, and you're not going to add on to it. You get your USB, which will get most people if you want to plug it into your phone and use it like that. You get your coaxial digital, which they do sell, and I'll link it in the description. Zeos, link the SPDIF converters that convert fiber optic or coaxial to fiber optic and coaxial. They're like $15. So if you don't have a coaxial digital, but you got a fiber optic, that's an easy fix. You just need a USB powered thing, which I don't have one on my desk currently. So yeah, I would even, ready for, if you're buying a just Shelly Labs amp, if you're buying an Arish 3, if you're buying an Arkle 3 Pro, if you're buying anything from their lineup, and you don't want to spend the $400 or $500 for a just Shelly Labs proper matching DAC, get one of these. It still has the heart of just Shelly in there. It's just fucking affordable, probably because it's, I'm not going to say it's made in China, because I don't know, but I also don't think that just Shelly Labs is taking on the responsibility of making like several hundreds of these if they start selling them, because I know this is popular as fuck, and if that gets as popular, there'll be no other just Shelly Labs products on the market. So bravo to this. This has always been a winner and never gone away, except my green LEDs are broken. It looks so much cooler in this video if it wasn't. And the fucking robot, like, I don't have to tell you, it's a goddamn robot. It's the easiest sale on the planet Earth. It's a robot that plays music out of its colostomy bag hole, which is what's on that side usually. So yeah, I think the robot should get more love than he does. He's also got a microphone here, which I'm assuming is for Bluetooth phone calls. That would be really weird if you start speaking into your robot. And feel free, by the way, if you have a 3D printer, to measure this here and make little hats for him. As long as it doesn't overheat the tube, just make him just things that slide on perfectly, like a sideways baseball hat with the Knicks logo on it or something. Come on. I want to see this be the meme. This guy deserves to be more memed than everything else in the fucking audio world, because someone's having fun with it. Xduoo is having fun with it, and it sounds good. It's noise-free, it's clean, it's got the tube warmth I expect from one of the... Xduoo is very good at faking a hybrid tube into sounding as good as a real full-on fuck you OTL tube amp. They're just real good at it now. And I wish his colors would matter more to me. Like, he's only going to be red, I think, because of the... Yeah, because of whatever's playing here is being resampled. Hold on, let me go to 24-bit demos and see if it changes his color. Yep, he's blue now. So listening to the New Force demo of Asian Flute makes him blue.
Makes the world around it seem.
Oh, that sounds so fucking good. I kind of want to do a Can Jam show where I just have 6 of these. Just 6 little robots. Test all the headphones. Fuck you. How is this so good? How is this so good? People are going to look at this thing as a joke. It's not. It's a serious sound machine. And people are going to look at this and go like, God, who the hell put this together? Well, God put this together. APOS doing their best on the Gremlin, and then just Shelly Labs chucking in a DAC. Fuck yeah, sold. So thank you, Wallpaper Horde. This video is brought to you by collabs, and the collabs that make me enough money to buy coffee. So this collab was brought up by coffee collabs. If you have a coffee company out there and you think they want to sponsor the channel, please reach out. Because I don't drink a lot of coffee, but when I do, it's Dos Equis. Patreon subscribers to support this channel. See reviews early, participate in yard sales, get to lossless sound demos, and then for the higher tier at $15 a month, you get the behind-the-scenes private Telegram chat to ask me questions directly all the goddamn time. You know exactly what's coming up with collabs. You could help me make decisions on collabs, and behind the scenes on merch and all the other things. And if you're in that, you're also in a lifetime swap meet channel to buy, sell, and trade gear. Because if I've ruined your life with audio equipment, there's a way out. Sell your shit to another up-and-coming audiophile so they could ruin their life. That's how it works. It's like cotton candy, and who made that joke? Lewis Black. It's like candy corn. All the candy corn ever made was made in 1937. Ever. And they just keep giving it out every year, and nobody eats it. They throw it away. They find it in the trash. They wash it and resell it. It's the same thing with audio gear. Nobody makes anything new. It's just audiophiles who are done with their significant others fucking kicking them out of the house and all the bills, sell all their shit, and these new up-and-coming ones go into that position within 10 years. And then you sell your shit, and the next person, and it just forever. We're all still using the same shit. None of this is new. Anyway, that coffee may have had drugs in it, because I'm feeling great. Let's go, while my blue robot yells at me. I would have had a green... my green LED?